Two estranged brothers, both skilled anglers, decided to reconcile over their shared passion for fishing. They believed a quiet day by the water would provide the perfect setting to mend their relationship. However, their peaceful outing was about to take a sinister turn. Unbeknownst to them, a hidden presence lurked in the nearby tall grass, silently observing their every move. Before we begin, I encourage you to support this channel. If you enjoy the content, please give this video a thumbs up. For those who haven't already, consider subscribing to stay updated on future stories. Don't forget to activate notifications to ensure you're alerted when new content is posted. The brothers, both licensed and experienced fishermen, had the privilege of casting their lines in a stunning nature reserve. The morning was calm and peaceful, with only the occasional bird song breaking the silence. Despite spending hours without catching a single fish, neither of them minded. They were simply content to enjoy each other's company. Derek, nearing retirement, opened up about his challenges, while Justin recounted the story of how he sprained his ankle. It was a perfect day and they were having the time of their lives, though that peace was about to be shattered. Unbeknownst to them, something lurking in the tall grass had been watching. Its eyes were fixed on the brothers, waiting for the right moment to strike. The two continued fishing, unaware of the danger, silently observing their every move. As the afternoon wore on, the sky darkened, and a stronger wind began to blow. The brothers decided to give it another 30 minutes before packing up and heading back to the car. They sat in companionable silence, savoring the quiet, when suddenly the grass around them rustled violently. Derek turned toward the sound, scanning for a cause. Probably just the wind. He shrugged, dismissing it. But there was no wind. Meanwhile, the predator shifted into position, ready to pounce when the time was right. Fate, however, intervened. Nearby, a stranger, an avid birdwatcher, had followed a trail of rare ivory-billed woodpeckers to this spot. Equipped for the terrain, he had a camera in hand, tracking the bird's flight path. In doing so, he accidentally stumbled upon the brothers and the unseen threat lurking near them. The birdwatcher, captivated by the serene scene of the two men fishing, paused his pursuit of the birds. The setting sun bathed the sky in a warm glow, and the brothers sat side by side, sharing this perfect moment. It was too picturesque to pass up, so the birdwatcher raised his camera to snap a photo, unaware that this simple act might just save their lives. As he reviewed the shot, a smile crossed his face, but it quickly vanished. The hairs on the back of his neck stood on end, and his skin turned pale. The image revealed something he hadn't noticed with his own eyes. Without hesitation, the birdwatcher dropped everything, his camera included, and raced down the hill toward the unsuspecting fisherman. The man raced down the hill, frantically waving his arms, trying to get the brothers' attention. Justin and Derek, confused, stood up and turned toward the approaching figure. They couldn't make out his words, and his wild gestures only added to the confusion. As the brothers moved, the rustling in the tall grass behind them briefly stopped. But when the predator realized it was still unnoticed, it resumed its silent pursuit. Curiosity mixed with confusion as the brothers watched the man rushing toward them, their backs now turned to the grass, another fatal mistake. Then, the man's screams began to make sense. "What is he saying?" Derek muttered, squinting in concentration. "Run! Watch out behind you!" the man screamed, his face twisted with fear, signaling something dreadful was behind them. A cold wave of terror gripped the brothers, rooting them to the spot. The rustling in the grass grew louder. The man's shouts faded as a new, sinister sound filled the air, a low hissing followed by a massive splash. "Get away now!" the man yelled again, his voice rising in desperation. The strange combination of hissing and splashing forced the brothers to turn around. What they saw froze them in place. Emerging from the water was an enormous alligator over 12 feet long. Its jaws were wide open, revealing razor-sharp teeth, and its cold, unblinking eyes were locked on the brothers as it charged. For a moment, Justin and Derek were paralyzed with fear, but instinct soon kicked in. They spun around, seeing the man already retreating back up the hill, and immediately followed. As they sprinted, the sound of the alligator's heavy breathing and claws tearing into the earth echoed behind them. Panic surged through them. They had to outwit the beast or they would become its prey. As the brothers closely reviewed the footage, they spotted something unusual, a small, shiny object falling off the alligator during the chase. It flashed briefly in the fading sunlight before vanishing into the tall grass. They began discussing what it could be, with the birdwatcher chiming in, but their conversation was cut short. They first noticed swaying headlights in the distance, followed by the unmistakable sound of branches snapping under the weight of a vehicle. Help had finally arrived. A ranger slowly approached in his SUV, keeping the alligator in sight. He eventually stepped out to assess the unusual scene. Realizing there was no other choice, he decided to tranquilize the massive alligator to ensure everyone's safety. After the creature was sedated, the ranger inspected it closely and was enraged to find it injured. He immediately suspected the brothers and the birdwatcher were responsible and planned to arrest them. However, they quickly protested, showing him the footage as proof of their innocence. The ranger watched the video intently and was astonished by the men's story. It became clear that they were not the culprits but victims. Once the misunderstanding was cleared up, Justin, Derek, and the birdwatcher shared their thoughts with the ranger. He agreed something strange was going on and enlisted their help to investigate further. When the ranger asked if they could lead him to the hill where they'd seen the object, the group eagerly agreed. Soon after, they ventured back to the area, determined to uncover the shiny item. By the time they arrived, the sun had set, and darkness had settled in. Fortunately, the ranger and birdwatcher both had flashlights. They split up to search the ground in pairs, when suddenly, one of the brothers broke the silence. "What's that?" The others rushed over, shocked to find a snare hidden in the grass. "Someone's trying to trap the animals," the birdwatcher whispered, his voice tense. The discovery of the snare left the group stunned. They realized the seriousness of the illegal activity taking place in the nature reserve. It was a threat not only to wildlife but also to public safety. Recognizing the urgency, they immediately contacted the police. When officers arrived, the group briefed them on the situation and the troubling find. Early in the morning, Justin, Derek, and the birdwatcher accompanied the police as they returned to the nature reserve to begin their investigation. They started at the fishing spot where the brothers had first encountered the injured alligator, carefully searching through the tall grass. The search party soon gathered around an officer who, in disbelief, called out upon discovering multiple traps and snares hidden in the grass. The alligator that had chased the brothers was so large that it had managed to evade the traps. As they continued their search, the ranger's SUV was spotted approaching. The ranger explained that he had been patrolling the reserve for signs of illegal activity. The brothers updated him on the situation, and when the ranger learned about the snares, he hurried over to the police officers. He revealed that the traps were equipped with GPS technology and alarm systems, meaning the perpetrators would be instantly notified if the traps were triggered. The group quickly devised a plan to lure the trappers into revealing themselves. While the police carefully reset the traps and snares to their original positions, Justin and Derek gathered materials to create a convincing fake alligator. The day passed with mounting anticipation, but there was no sign of the criminals. As dusk fell and the darkness settled in, the situation grew tense. Just then, an officer stationed at the perimeter radioed in. "There's movement here." A wave of excitement spread through the group. The officer was only a few minutes away, so everyone waited in the shadows, holding their breath. Finally, through the darkness, they spotted a couple of figures making their way toward the tall grass where the decoy and traps were hidden. At the officer's signal, everyone clicked on their flashlights and directed them at the trappers. In the glare of the beams stood three astonished individuals, their hands raised and their faces etched with fear and surprise. The sight of them caught red-handed was all the police needed to make their move. They promptly arrested the men and transported them to the station for further questioning. At the station, the dark deeds of the trio soon came to light. Once their home addresses were obtained, officers visited their residences and conducted searches. They uncovered a grim scene: animals trapped in cages, numerous stuffed animals and various animal skins exposing a long history of illegal trapping and poaching activities. The brothers and the birdwatcher were thrilled to witness the unfolding scene. It was clear to them that the case was effectively closed. The evidence found at the trappers' homes strengthened the case, and after a swift trial, the men were sentenced and imprisoned. Following the trial, Justin, Derek, the birdwatcher, and the ranger were invited back to the police station. There, the police force expressed their gratitude and appreciation for their efforts. They were reminded of the incredible adventure they had survived. The birdwatcher was thanked for his invaluable contribution, and back home they all rewatched the footage with broad smiles. Having learned a hard lesson, Justin and Derek were inspired by their ordeal and the successful capture of the trappers. They decided to share their story and the dramatic footage with the media. Their harrowing experience quickly went viral, and they hoped that by sharing their tale, they would entertain and educate the public on the risks and responsibilities of outdoor activities, turning their mistakes into valuable lessons for others. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this amazing story. Have you ever experienced or witnessed a surprising situation that required quick thinking and teamwork? We invite you to share your own unexpected stories and reflections in the comments below. Thank you for joining us for this captivating tale. We look forward to bringing you more inspiring stories in the future. Until next time.